Hello and welcome. We are here to move and for it to feel good. Today we are going to be flowing through a stability sequence to really help us find that connection in the inner core and throughout the body in order to find strength and stability as we move. So we are going to get started seated, which can be cross-legged, legs extended, whichever one feels best for you. But finding your way to your comfortable seated position where you can start to root down, grow heavy through the hips. If it feels like you're kind of rounding back and sitting a little bit more on your tailbone, maybe find a blanket or a thin pillow and kind of sit yourself up on that and then slide down the edge of it so that you can kind of tilt your pelvis into a more neutral position so that you can really root down through the hips. And then resting your hands wherever it feels good, finding a little bit of length up through the spine. Long neutral neck, closing the eyes or just softening the gaze down towards the floor. And as you inhale, pull the shoulders up towards the ears. As you exhale, soften them onto your back, let that air go. And again, inhale, pull the shoulders up towards the ears, squeeze, exhale. Soften, release. Let's do it one more time. Inhale and exhale. So in order for us to find strength in muscles, we need to know how to soften them as well, to create that balance between softness and strength. So just noticing the groundedness, the heaviness down through your hips, the softness in your hip joints as you release the legs. That gentle hug in of the core supporting you here so that you can stay nice and tall. But that length that you're creating through that strength, you're allowing more air to enter your lungs so that when you inhale, you can expand into that a little bit more, which also allows for a more complete exhale, letting that air go. And even while the chest is nice and open, you feel your shoulders soft on your back. And taking a moment to notice into that breath. Maybe just checking in with it, noticing how it's flowing. Maybe it's fast or slow, smooth or rough. Maybe it feels like it's staying very high up in the chest, already finding its way a little deeper towards the bottom of the lungs, towards the belly. And as you notice in, seeing if you can soften into that breath. So we're not trying to control the breath, drag it down deep. We're creating space, room for it to enter, to open up. And then taking this moment to set your intention. That mental focal point that when you hit that wall, which might feel like I can't do this or I don't want to be here anymore. There's other things I could be doing. Or maybe it's just the mind starting to crowd with thoughts. You'll be able to bring your mind back to this one clear thought that you set at the beginning of your practice as your focal point, your lighthouse. Kind of like, why are you here? Where are you going? So that just might be a word or a phrase, something that has some meaning to you. Or maybe it's simply the thought of gratitude towards someone or something in your life. But we'll seal it in by bringing the hands to heart center. Deep inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. One more time, deep inhale. Open the mouth. And next inhale, reaches the arms up high, growing tall through the sides of the body. Interlace the fingers, flip the palms up towards the sky. And as you exhale, push the palms out in front of you. Feel the shoulder blades separate on your back. Inhale, press the palms up. Exhale, push it away. Starting to find movement, warmth into those shoulders. And then we'll release the hands, bring them behind us, create a fist. Start to draw that fist down to the floor. Feel your shoulder blades pull together on your back. Open your heart and gently start to reach your chin up towards the sky. So we're not dumping the head back. We're extending, lengthening through the front of the neck. And then drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Drop the chin down to the chest. Left ear rolls to left shoulder. Chin down to the chest. Right ear, right shoulder. One more time, back to the other side. And we'll lift the head up from here. And we're going to find our way to our boat pose. So extending your legs out in front of you, bending the knees, planting the feet. But we want to still be able to root down through those hip bones. So feel your hips press down into the earth. We're going to find a little bit more core engagement here, feeling our lower ribs hug us in. Hands can come behind the knees or reach your arms forward. Roll your shoulders onto the back so you feel a nice broad chest, long neck as you start to hinge it back. So from crown to tailbone, you want a nice long solid line, and then maybe the heels lift. Maybe you hinge it back a little further. Maybe the feet lift. Finding where your boat is today and breathing there. Finding that place where you start to shake. And then see if you can open your heart a little bit more. See if you can lean it back another ½ inch. Maybe the heart opens just a little bit more. You really feel your belly strong. Maybe you got those shakes going, that's good. Lean it back another ½ inch. And we're rolling it all the way down onto our back. Once you're there, gently draw the knees in, little rock side to side. Oh, I got a nice pop into my hip. That felt really good. And we're going to hug the right knee in, let the left leg extend out long. Take a deep inhale, soften that knee away, breathe into your belly. And as you exhale, hug your belly in, soften the knee in towards your chest. Inhale, soften the knee away, fill your belly. Exhale, hug the belly and the knee in. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Send that leg up towards the sky, flex and point the foot, roll out through the ankle, wiggle through the toes, and then slowly lower that leg down. As slow as you can, feel your core engage, hugging in, and we're hugging the left knee in. So as you inhale, breathe into the belly, soften the knee away, create space. Exhale, hug it all in. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Send that leg up towards the sky, point, flex the foot, roll out through the ankle, wiggle through the toes, find movement that feels good. And then hug into the belly, slowly, slowly start to lower that leg down to the ground. Nice. Bend the knees, walk the feet in. We're walking the heels in as close to the hips as they're willing to come, just close enough where we can brush the heels with our fingertips. So my heels can actually walk in closer than that, but if they're walking in closer than that, that puts a little bit more strain on my knees, which doesn't feel good. So I like just at the fingertips or a little further away even. But we're going to press down through the palms that are close to the hips. Feel your shoulder blades soften underneath your back. Neck is long, and gaze stays up at the sky. So if you need to watch me for this first time, you can watch me for this first time. Don't do it, just watch. And then when you're ready, when you feel comfortable, gaze up at the sky and then you can move. But we want to keep our neck nice and long while we're here. We're just going to press down through the feet, press down through the palms, start to float the hips up off the mat. Find a bridge. And then as you exhale, tuck your tailbone, roll your spine back down onto the ground, lowering vertebra by vertebra. Yeah. And again, we're going to press down through the feet, press down through the hands, lift the hips, hold it here, push the heels a little bit more firmly into the earth so you start to feel your weight shift back towards your shoulders. And then again, tuck your tailbone, roll the spine down. And we've got 2 more times. So press down through the feet, float the hips up. Notice if your knees start to fall apart from each other. Keep them hip distance. Push down through your heels. Feel your butt squeeze. Feel your weight towards your shoulders. Roll the spine down with the next exhale. And we got 1 more. Press it up. Pressing down through the heels. Maybe you're pressing down through the heels so much that the balls of the feet lift up off the mat. You really feel those glutes engage. You feel the weight towards the shoulders. And then you lower the feet, lower the hips down slowly. Draw the knees in. Little rock side to side. I love bridge because it gets those glutes. It works the hamstrings. You feel it in the quads, but it also gets that deep core muscle. So go ahead and lift the feet up towards the sky. We're going to feel our belly hug down so that we feel our lower back press down into the earth. Palms can be down next to your hips again. And we're just going to start to lower the feet down slowly towards the earth, feeling our lower back press down into the earth until you feel your lower back start to lift. Once it starts to lift, then bend the knees, draw the knees into your chest, send the feet back up. And again, we're going to start to lower down, keeping that lower back pressed into the mat. So it doesn't matter how low your feet go, you are working with the range that your core is willing to go today. So only lowering the feet as low as you can while keeping that lower back pressed into the mat. We're going to find 1 more time. And then draw the knees in, little rock side to side. Lovely. We're going to let the knees fall over to the left. We're going to find a little twist. That feels good on the spine. You can reach your arms out at a T. You can rest the left hand on top of the legs if that added weight feels good. But knowing you control the intensity here. So if you are really feeling it in your lower back right now, if that lower back isn't feeling quite warmed up, ready for this, move your knees more towards the top of your mat or the other end of your mat, away from you. That's going to ease this twist just a little bit. If it feels like you're not really getting into the twist at all, the knees might slide more up towards the armpit, deepening the twist or the intensity, kind of turning it up. And we're going to draw the knees up, find a little rock side to side. And then we're going to find it on the other side. So the knees fall over to the right. Arms can open up at a T. You can rest right hand on legs, whatever feels right. And then finding the right distance your knees are away from you. I have 2 little kittens trying to claw their way into this room, sticking paws underneath the door. Go ahead and draw your knees back up to center. Find that little rock side to side 1 more time. Massaging your spine into the earth, feels so good. And then hands behind the knees. And we're going to start to rock forward and back along the length of the spine, like you're a rocking horse. And then we're going to use that momentum to find our way all the way up onto our seat. And from there, we're swinging the legs around behind us, finding our way to our tabletop. So stacking hips over knees, Shoulders over wrist or slightly behind the wrists. Crease of the wrist is parallel to the top of the mat, and we're rolling our weight in towards our thumbs. Finding a couple cat-cows, so as you inhale, drop the belly down, reach the heart forward, reach the tailbone up. Exhale, arch the back, round the spine. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to your neutral spine. So you're going to feel almost like you're sitting back in that sitting position, that long spine from the crown of the head to the tailbone. You're pressing the ground away. And then we're going to extend the left leg back. We'll start on the left side. So left leg extends back. You're hugging the belly in. You're finding that core stability there first. And then maybe the right arm reaches forward and you find the balance. If that hand wants to stay on the ground today, keep it on the ground. Make this accessible to you. So wherever your body's willing to go today. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, that back knee is going to hug in towards the chest. If the arm is extended, elbow hugs towards the knee. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, re-extend. We're doing 5, so 3 more. Exhale. Squeeze it in as close to your belly as you can. Inhale. Exhale, let go of all your air. Hug it in. Inhale, last one. Exhale. Inhale, extend. Lower the hand down if it's lifted. We're tucking those left toes behind us. The right knee stays where it is. We're just swinging the right foot out to the right. Turn to the inside edge of the left foot. Left arm reaches straight up to the sky. Feel your tailbone reach for your back heel or left heel. And you're creating that long line down the top edge of your body, stacking the hips, opening the chest, and exhale, lower it down, tabletop. Cat-cow, inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, arch the back. One more. Inhale, neutral spine. We're extending the right leg behind us, flexing that foot so we can push out through the heel. Before we find the balance, we find the core stability first. So hug your belly in, and then maybe the left arm reaches forward. Take an inhale, exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, squeeze it in tight. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, 2 more. Exhale. Last one. Exhale. Inhale, extend. Lower the hand. Tuck the right toes. Left knee stays where it is. Just this foot swings out to the side. And you can tuck those toes or leave the foot flat. Roll to the big toe side of the back foot. And right arm reaches up. Feeling your tailbone reach for the end of your mat, hugging your core in, pushing the ground away from you with that bottom hand, and then lower the hand down, tabletop. Beautiful. And we're going to step it back. We're going to find our downward facing dog. Finding any movement here in this downward facing dog that feels good. You can pedal out through the feet. You can sway out through the hips. And then we're going to walk it forward, forward fold. Softening into this forward fold, growing heavy. Inhale to a half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale to sweep it up, grow tall. And exhale, fold it right back in. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands. We're stepping it back slowly, finding our plank, high plank, or dropping the knees, half plank. engaging through the core. As you exhale, bend into the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend, baby cobra or up dog. And exhale finds your way to your downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, we're going to walk the hands back towards our feet to find our forward fold. Softening in here. And then inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep it up. And this time, hands to heart center. So oftentimes when we practice balance in yoga, it's a still pose, a static hold. When you usually lose your balance in life, it's when you're moving. So we're going to play with balance in motion. So we're going to bring the hands to the hips, and we want the pelvis to be neutral. So notice if you're tucking your tailbone or lifting it behind you, allowing one weight to rest in one foot or the other. Neutralize your pelvis, press down through both feet. And we're going to step our right foot in front of our left, bringing the heel as close to the front toes as we can while still maintaining our balance. So again, moving that weight into the front foot, lifting the back heel, and we want to create a long line from the crown of the head to that back heel, down the side of the body. Maybe you flex the foot, lifting the toes. If you want to hinge it forward at all, you can do that. If you want to hinge it all the way forward into your warrior three, you can do that. We're just feeling that length down the side of the body. And then we're going to hinge it up. Let that back foot swing forward, lifting it as high as it wants to go. Now we have a long line from the crown of the head to our grounded heel. If that left leg wants to lift all the way up to hip height, it can do that. And then we're going to step heel in front of toes, as close as we can get it while keeping our balance. And we're going to shift our weight forward. Find the stability down through that left leg. Back foot lifts. We find the length from crown of the head to the back heel, hinging it forward as far as we want to go while still maintaining that balance, moving slowly, breathing. Hinge it up. Long line of head to grounded heel as the right foot reaches forward. And heel to toes. Step it forward. Create your long line. Hinge it forward or hinge it up. Step it forward. Crown of head to right heel. Hinge it up. Step it forward. Reach the heart forward. Left heel back. Hinge it up. Foot to heel or heel to toes. One more time. Reach it back or reach the right foot back. And then we're going to hinge it up and we're going to try to bend that right knee and lift it up as high as it can go. Maybe knee hip height, maybe the toes just rest on the ground in front of you. Wherever it feels most appropriate for you to be today. And then we'll lower that foot down. Mountain pose. Take a deep inhale. Slow exhale. We're going to shift our weight back into our right foot. Lift the left heel. We're going to find a little bend into the right knee, and we're going to slowly step that left foot as far back as we can, finding our high lunge. So this takes an enormous amount of stability here. That back heel wants to go down in order to stabilize a little bit easier, but we want to keep that back heel lifted as much as we can. We're going to pull the right hip back, left hip forward so that they're square, and you find that neutral pelvis. The tailbone is heavy, and then like you're trying to pull the two sides of the pelvis together, squeeze it into midline. And then with that energy pulling into midline, Send it up through your spine. Feel your back thigh lift up towards the sky and the back heel press away. Push down through your front heel. So a lot of multiple direction rooting here in order to find the stability. And then here we have options. Hands can come down to blocks or floor, or you keep the hands on the hips. So wherever your hands are, we're bending into that back knee, lowering the knee down, and then bring the hands down. Low lunge. Step it back, tabletop. You can separate the knees, push it back, child's pose. 3 slow, deep breaths here. Inhale, lift yourself up, tabletop. We're finding our downward facing dog. Pushing it up and back. And then we're walking the hands back, bending into the knees, finding our way to our forward fold at the back of our mat. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale to bring it all the way up. Palms touch, hands to heart center. Beautiful. So you can take a little step back, find the end of your mat. Hands come to the hips. You find that neutral pelvis. Engage your core. Your core stability is so important here because it's the difference between a taut sail in the wind or a loose sail in the wind. If your sail is loose, you're not going anywhere. It's just flapping all around. You are at the mercy of the wind. It's going to pull you any which way. If your sail is taut, as in your core is nice and tight, you get to direct where the wind takes you. Everything is nice and firm. So hands to the hips. And we're going to step our left foot in front of the right. Shift your weight forward into that foot. Find that stability down through that foot, flexing the back foot. And again, if you want to find your full warrior 3 here, you can hinge it all the way forward. I'm only recommending this if you have warrior 3 in your practice. And then we're going to hinge it up as the right foot swings forward, as high up as it's willing to go, and then heel to toe. Shift the weight forward, stabilize first, find your core, long spine, float the back foot, hinge it where it wants to go, bring it up, swing the foot forward with control, step it forward, shift the weight, find that balance, bring it up, back foot forward, heel to toe. Slow and controlled. Shift the weight. Find your warrior 3. Swing it forward. Heel to toe. 2 more. Shift. Bring it forward. Heel to toe. Last one. In this one, we're going to shift. Float the back foot. Lift ourselves up. We're bending that left knee. Trying to bring knee to hip height or toes rest down in front of you, and you're just playing with lifting the toes. But again, stabilize through the hips, because here we can have a tendency to drop down into that left hip. We want to stabilize and lift up. And lower the foot down. Mountain pose. We're going to bring the hands back to the hips. Shift the weight over into the left foot. We're going to bend the right knee. And slowly, gentle bend in your left knee. We're stepping that right foot back as far as it's willing to go to find our high lunge. Trying to leave that back heel lifted, but pulling left hip back, right hip forward. Squeeze it in. You're going to feel both glutes engage, pulling in. Send that energy up through your spine. Feel your back thigh lift, your back heel push away, and you're driving down through that front heel. Breathing here. And then you have the option, hands to the blocks or the floor, or play with leaving the hands on the hips. And we're slowly lowering that back knee, not thudding it down, but gently lowering it to the earth. Hands down. If they're still lifted, step it back. Child's pose. 3 breaths. Inhale, lift yourself up, tabletop. So we're going to step the right foot up in between the hands, finding our way back to that low lunge. The back knee is going to be directly underneath the hips, and we're going to lift ourselves up. Hands can come back to the hips, and you find that nice long spine, just like you did when you were seated. The pelvis is neutral, the belly is gently hugging you in, your spine is tall, your chest is open, your shoulders are on your back. Yep. We're going to hold that as we move. Tuck your back toes, lift your back heel, press your weight forward into that front foot. The back foot can hop forward, and then maybe the knee comes forward. You can leave the toes on the ground or lift it up hip height, just like you did before, right? So we're moving between these two poses, low lunge and high knee balance. So we're going to gently bend into the right knee. We're stepping the left foot back. We're lowering that back knee down and finding our low lunge. You can untuck the toes. Take a moment here. Find that core stability if you lost it. I kind of lost my place, but I know where we're going now. So go ahead and tuck the toes, back toes, lift that back knee. We're reaching it forward. Back knee comes forward as high up as it's willing to go. And then slowly coming back to where we started from. Toes touch, gently dropping the knee, untucking the toes. Yeah, 2 more, that's it. Tuck the back toes, lift that back knee as you move your weight forward. Back knee comes up, and slowly hinging it back, touching the toes down, gently dropping the knee down. Low lunge. Last one. Toes are tucked. Knee lifts, shift the weight forward. Back knee comes forward. And we're stepping it back, touching the toes, lowering slowly. And hands come down. Tabletop. Separate the knees. Child's pose. 3 slow, deep breaths. Taking on a moment to check in with yourself. That is not an easy move. Going from a back balance to a forward balance. So check in, noticing where your mind went as it faced challenge. And then noticing where you'd like it to go. Maybe back to the breath, maybe to your intention. Maybe your intention doesn't feel strong enough here. Gratitude is a very strong redirect for the brain. So if your intention doesn't feel strong enough to kind of redirect you from your wall, taking a moment to find 3 things that you're grateful for. Changing the chemical balance in the brain, rewiring it. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift it up, tabletop. We just got the other side, and then we're going to cool it down. So left foot steps up in between the hands. Back knee is underneath the hip. We're going to lift it up. We're going to squeeze, stabilize through the hips like we did before. Lengthen up through the spine. And then slowly we're going to tuck those back toes. Press down through the back toes, front foot as we lift the back knee. Press our weight forward. And then lift it up. Toes can stay down in front of you, or they can float. Whatever feels best for your body, wherever it's willing to move, going there. Finding your limits, not somebody else's. So your movement might look very different than mine. We're lowering that back knee down slowly, untucking the back toes. That doesn't mean one's better than the other. We're each putting in the same amount of effort. It's looking different, but we're both working hard. Tuck those back toes. Lift that back knee. Reach it forward. We're bringing the back knee up. And then slowly, with control, sending it back. Toes touch. Knee touches. We got 2 more. Toes tuck. Knee lifts. Back knee comes forward. And when you're ready, we're sending it back. Toes, knee. Last one. Tuck those back toes. You got this. Lift that back knee. Stabilize here. Press down through that front foot. And we're bringing it forward. Squeeze in through your core. Lengthen up. And we're sending it back, keeping that spine nice and long the entire time. Lower the back knee down. Hands come down. Step it back. Child's pose. Deep inhale. Slow exhale. One more deep inhale. Slow exhale. Inhale. Lift yourself up, tabletop. We're swinging the legs around in front of us, rolling that back down onto our backs. And we're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee. We're just going to be here for about 5 breaths. But we want to feel that right knee push away from us, so you can do that using the muscles, or you can use the right hand, push the knee away. If you're not really feeling anything in that hip, maybe the right leg, left leg lifts, and you bring the hand behind that. So you got this push-pull going on, softening the shoulders down, breathing into that hip. And we're lowering that foot down and uncrossing the legs, finding it on the other side. So left over right, pushing the left knee away, maybe pulling the right leg in, but keeping the shoulders soft and breathing. Nice, go ahead and lower the foot down, uncrossing the legs. We're going to allow the knees to fall open and the soles of the feet to come together. And if this feels too intense on your inner hips, maybe you grab 2 blocks or 2 pillows and bring them underneath your thighs, kind of giving yourself a little bit of support so it doesn't open quite as much, quite as heavy. And again, 5 slow, deep breaths, just softening into the hips, letting it go. And then we're going to gently draw the knees back towards each other. Walk the feet apart and allow the knees to fall in towards each other. And just taking a moment to settle in here, to notice into the body how it's feeling. And then we're going to extend the legs out long, finding our way to our Shavasana, our place of rest and release. If laying on your back is uncomfortable, you can roll over onto your side or even come up for a seated meditation, but finding a place of ease for you. And taking a quick body scan, noticing into the feet, the ankles, softening, letting go, to the legs, the hips, the lower back, shoulders, chest, arms, softening the wrist and the fingers, finding that soft, neutral neck. Relaxing into the crown of the head, the forehead, the eyes and the mouth. Finding the opposite of the hard work, the strength, which is that place of rest and ease and softness. And you may stay here for however long you need. But I will thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through this practice until we meet on our mats again. Namaste.